A retiree with $600,000 in a traditional 401k is handing $24,000 to the IRS every single year. Not because they made bad decisions, not because they did anything wrong, because nobody told them that there is a legal IRS-sanctioned method to pull money out of that account at a 0% federal tax rate. It exists. It has existed for years. And the vast majority of retirees retiring right now have never once seen it explained with real numbers. What I am going to walk you through today is exactly how the 0% capital gains bracket works in retirement, how your ordinary income from Social Security and RMDs interacts with it, what the 2026 threshold numbers actually are, and the specific sequence you have to follow to use this strategy before the IRS closes the window on you. This is not a loophole in the shadowy sense. It is a bracket. It is in the tax code. And it is available to you right now. This video is for educational purposes only and is not tax or financial advice. Consult a qualified tax professional before making any decisions about your specific situation. My name is Jordan. Every week, I break down the tax rules, the financial traps, and the strategies that protect retirees from the things nobody else is explaining. Item 1, the 0% long-term capital gains bracket is real, and most retirees never touch it. Here is the concept most retirees never hear. The federal government taxes long-term capital gains, meaning gains on investments held longer than 1 year, at a rate of 0% for households below a specific income threshold, not a reduced rate. 0. For 2026, that threshold is $47,000 for a single filer and $94,050 for a married couple filing jointly. If your taxable income stays below those numbers, every dollar of long-term capital gain you realize is taxed at 0% federally. This is not a new law. It has been in the tax code for years. But here's what most people do not know. This bracket applies to qualified dividends as well. So if you hold index funds or dividend-paying stocks in a taxable brokerage account, and those dividends are qualified, those can also come out at 0. Let me put a dollar amount on this. Suppose you are a married couple, both 67, with $1.2 million split between a traditional IRA and a taxable brokerage account. You have $40,000 in Social Security between you. After the standard deduction, which in 2026 is $30,000 for a married couple filing jointly, plus the new $6,000 senior bonus deduction for filers over 65, your taxable income from Social Security alone might be around $4,000 to $8,000, depending on your provisional income calculation. That leaves significant room under the $95,050 threshold. In that gap, you can realize capital gains at 0%. That is real money walking out the door every single year if you do not use it. The action step? Log into your taxable brokerage account right now and identify positions with unrealized long-term gains. Work with a tax professional to calculate your current year taxable income and determine how much room you have under the 0% threshold. The consequence of not acting. You wait until you're forced to take RMDs, and at that point, your taxable income may be high enough that those same gains get taxed at 15% or even 20%, permanently losing the window. Item 2, how traditional 401k conversions to Roth stack. Into the 0% window. Most people frame Roth conversions as a way to pay taxes now to avoid taxes later. That framing is incomplete, and it misses the most powerful version of this strategy. Here is the IRS rule. When you convert money from a traditional 401k or IRA to a Roth IRA, that converted amount is added to your ordinary income for the year. It appears on your tax return as ordinary income, reported on Form 1040. With the taxable amount flowing from Form 8606 if you have any basis. The key insight is that you control the amount you convert each year. You're not required to convert everything. You can convert exactly as much as fits inside a specific tax bracket. Here's the math. You're 63 years old, single, not yet on Medicare. Your Social Security is not started. You have $800,000 in a traditional 401k and $200,000 in a Roth from your working years. Your only income this year is a small amount of interest, say $2,000. Your standard deduction for 2026 is $15,000 as a single filer, plus the $6,000 senior bonus deduction if you are 65. So let's hold that and say $15,000 total since you are 63. Your taxable income starts essentially at 0. The top of the 12% federal bracket for a single filer in 2026 is approximately $48,475. That means you can convert up to $46,475 from your traditional 401k into a Roth IRA and pay only 10% and 12% on that money, not 22%, not 24%, and certainly not 0% going out later in RMDs at a higher rate. Run that every year from age 60 to 72, and you're looking at over $500,000 moved into tax-free growth, permanently out of the RMD system. What most people do not know: if your conversion is structured to keep your provisional income under $25,000 as a single filer or $32,000 as a married couple, you may also eliminate federal taxation on your Social Security benefit entirely. These two strategies compound each other. The action step: use IRS publication 590B and a qualified tax professional to model your Roth conversion ladder for the years between retirement and age 73, when RMDs begin. The consequence of not converting during this window: your traditional account continues to grow, your future RMDs get larger, and you are eventually forced to take taxable withdrawals at whatever rate applies in your 70s, often 22% or higher. Item 3, Social Security taxation and the provisional income trap. This is the one that catches almost everyone by surprise, and it costs retirees thousands of dollars every single year. Most retirees have no idea that their Social Security benefit is not automatically tax-free. They assume it is. They were never told otherwise. Nobody sat them down and showed them the actual numbers. Here is the IRS rule: the taxability of your Social Security benefit is determined by your provisional income, which the IRS defines as your adjusted gross income, plus any tax-exempt interest, plus 50% of your Social Security benefit. If that number exceeds $25,000 for a single filer, up to 50% of your benefit becomes taxable. If it exceeds $34,000, up to 85% of your benefit is taxable. For married couples, those thresholds are $32,000 and $44,000, respectively. These thresholds have not been adjusted for inflation since 1983. That is not an accident. It is a feature of the tax code that has quietly swept more and more retirees into taxation every decade. Let me put a dollar amount on this. You are a single retiree, age 70. Your Social Security benefit is $24,000 per year. You have a traditional IRA, and you take a $20,000 RMD. Your provisional income is $20,000 AGI plus $12,000. 50% of SS equals $32,000. That puts you above the $34,000 threshold. So 85% of your $24,000 Social Security benefit, which is $20,400, is now taxable. At a 22% bracket, that is $4,488 in additional federal tax every year. Over 20 years of retirement, that is $80,760 gone. Not because you were wealthy, because nobody explained provisional income to you before you started taking withdrawals. The action step: before you begin Social Security, or before you take your first RMD, calculate your projected provisional income using IRS Form SSA 1099 and Publication 915. If your provisional income is close to either threshold, restructuring your withdrawal sources, drawing from Roth first, reducing traditional IRA distributions, can bring you below the threshold and potentially eliminate the taxation of your benefit entirely. If you want tax withheld voluntarily from your Social Security benefit, you do that with IRS Form W4V. The consequence of not planning this: you overpay federal tax on your Social Security benefit for the rest of your life. Item 4, IRMA, the Medicare surcharge. Nobody mentions until it hits. This one does not get discussed in the same breath as 0% tax strategies, but it should, because a single poorly timed Roth conversion or large IRA withdrawal can trigger it and cost you thousands in Medicare premiums. This is not the IRS, this is the Social Security Administration, but the source of the income they are measuring is your tax return. Here's the rule. IRMA, the income-related monthly adjustment amount, is a surcharge added to your Medicare Part B and Part D premiums if your modified adjusted gross income exceeds certain thresholds. For 2026, the base Medicare Part B premium is approximately $185 per month. If you're single and you're MAGI from 2 years prior, that means your 2024 return is what determines your 2026 premiums. Exceeds $106,000, your Part B premium jumps to $259 per month. Keep going up the income ladder and it reaches $594 per month at the top tier. For a married couple, multiply those numbers by 2. Let me put a dollar amount on this. You're a married couple, both 67. In 2024, you did a large Roth conversion, $120,000, pushing your MAGI to $165,000. In 2026, your combined Medicare Part B premiums jump by approximately $1,500 extra per year compared to the base rate. Add Part D surcharges, and you're looking at close to $2,100 in additional premiums that year, simply because of a 1-year income spike 2 years earlier. That is real money walking out the door every single year this surcharge applies. What most people do not know, IRMA is based on a 2-year look back. The income you report this year determines your Medicare premiums in 2 years. That means Roth conversion amounts. this year need to be modeled against what they will do to your Medicare premiums in 2027, not just your 2025 tax bill. The appeal process exists. It is SSA Form SSA 44, and it can reduce your premiums if you had a qualifying life event like retirement or job loss. But prevention is always cheaper than an appeal. The action step: before executing any large Roth conversion, run your projected MAGI against the IRMA brackets for the year 2 years out. The consequence of ignoring IRMA, a tax-efficient Roth conversion becomes significantly less efficient when you add the Medicare premium surcharge, and you may cross a tier threshold by as little as $1, triggering a full tier jump. Item 5. State taxes. The variable nobody accounts for. The federal tax picture is only half the story. State income taxes on retirement income vary so dramatically that two retirees with identical federal returns can have wildly different total tax bills. And most people do not figure this out until after they have already moved or made permanent financial decisions. Here's the fact. As of 2026, 13 states do not tax Social Security benefits at all, including Florida, Texas, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Illinois. Some states fully exempt pension and IRA income as well. Pennsylvania, for instance, exempts most forms of retirement income entirely. A retiree in Pennsylvania with $70,000 in combined Social Security and IRA distributions may owe Pennsylvania state income tax of near zero. That same retiree in California, where the top rate reaches 13.3%, and there is no special retirement income exemption, could owe $5,400 or more in state income tax on that same income. In California, $5,400. In Pennsylvania, roughly $460, driven only by small amounts of non-exempt income. Same federal return, different state. Over 20 years of retirement, the California retiree has sent nearly $100,000 more to the state than their Pennsylvania counterpart. What most people do not know: many states that do tax retirement income offer partial exemptions based on age or income level. In Missouri, for example, Social Security is fully exempt for individuals below a certain AGI. In Colorado, those 65 and older can deduct up to $24,000 of retirement income from state taxes. These exemptions are often buried in state tax codes and never surface in national financial media. The action step: if you are within 5 years of retirement and considering a geographic move, or if you already live in a state with no retirement income exemptions, run a state-level tax projection using your expected income sources. The consequence of not doing this: you pay state income tax on retirement income that could have been legally eliminated simply by understanding which income types your state taxes and which it does not. Here's what changed in 2026 that makes this different from anything you have seen before. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act provisions, the same ones that set the current bracket structure, were set to expire after 2025. Under the One Big Beautiful Bill passed in 2025, many of those provisions have been extended and modified. The standard deduction for 2026 has been locked in at $15,000 for single filers and $30,000 for married couples filing jointly. And critically, a new $6,000 senior bonus deduction has been added for filers age 65 and older. That means a married couple, both over 65, now has a combined $42,000 in deductions before a single dollar of income is taxable. That is more room in the 0% bracket. That is more runway for Roth conversions at low rates. That is more space for capital gains harvesting before you trigger the 15% rate. Every strategy in this video just became more powerful in 2026 than it was in 2024, and the retirees who are aware of that will use it. The ones who are not will not. Let me bring it all together. Here are all 5 in order. Number 1, the 0% long-term capital gains bracket. For 2026, married filers below $94,050 in taxable income pay 0% federal tax on long-term capital gains and qualified dividends. If you have unrealized gains in a taxable brokerage account, this is the window to realize them before RMDs push your income above the threshold permanently. Number 2, Roth conversion laddering in the low-income years. The years between retirement and age 73, before RMDs are mandatory, are your window to move money from a traditional 401k or IRA into a Roth at the lowest possible tax rate. Strategic annual partial conversions can permanently reduce or eliminate your future RMD burden, and they can be structured to keep your Social Security benefit from becoming taxable. Number 3, provisional income and Social Security taxation. If your provisional income crosses $25,000 single or $32,000 married, your Social Security benefit becomes partially taxable. If it crosses $34,000 or $44,000, up to 85% of it is taxable. Structuring your withdrawal sequence: Roth first, traditional IRA second, can keep you under those thresholds. File Form W4V if you need withholding. Use IRS Publication 9-5 to understand your exposure. Number 4, IRMA and the Medicare surcharge trap. Large Roth conversions or IRA withdrawals in any given year can spike your MAGI and trigger Medicare Part B and Part D surcharges 2 years later. For 2026 premiums, the relevant year is your 2024 return. Model conversions against the IRMA tiers before executing. If you experience a qualifying life event, file SSA Form SSA 44 to request a reduction. Number 5, state income taxes on retirement income. The difference between the right state and the wrong state can be $5,000 or more per year in retirement income taxes on exactly the same federal return. 13 states exempt Social Security, several exempt pension and IRA income entirely. Run a state-level projection before you move and before you decide which accounts to draw from first. This is Jordan Retires. If this video helped you, hit the like button right now.